Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be covering the patch 13.11 notes. So if you enjoy the content, like and subscribe, and let's get into it. To begin with, there are a couple of nerfs, a couple of buffs, some system changes as a follow-up to 13.10, a couple of new skins, and a rel adjustment. So let's get into it. To begin with, Rel is getting a Midscope. She has been relatively unpopular for a while. She is performing quite well as a support, has been for a while, does quite well with Ivern Shard and Radiant Virtue, but overall, just wanting to increase her satisfaction, make her able to jungle. I believe there are some damage to jungle modifiers in here, and overall, the kit goes mostly as follows. It's like a general nerf towards some of the abilities. In turn, she's going to get a different E, which is a charge, and it allows her to, it gains random plane movement speed, and next attack explodes in an area, and her Q now stuns. So there has been a couple things of power which have been taken out, but overall, just going to be more exciting of a kit. Should make her more attractive to play as a champion. Just freshening up a kit and giving her some quality of life changes. Akali is gaining 10 flat damage at all ranks on the Q. This is pretty big for Akali, as it's her most spammed spammable ability, and gaining just in general 10 flat damage on a spammable ability is quite nice. If you're casting this 3-4 times in a fight, then it's going to add up. I like how it says Q-based damage decrease when it is an increase. But yeah, this should definitely help her in both pro and solo Q. I don't imagine this will put her back into pro play as a key pick, but people do like playing this champion, so it wouldn't surprise me if she does end up getting picked in general. So yeah, we'll see if this gives her a gets her a good play rate. But yeah, overall, I think what would benefit Akali most is maybe things like Riftmaker getting buffed, but she tends to, right now her best mythic is Protobelt, but as a lot of people do run Riftmaker Akali, and Riftmaker in general is a pretty weak mythic at the moment, it would be nice to see a Riftmaker buff. Amumu is losing 3 tick rate on his W. The base damage per tick, 0.5 seconds, is going down by 3 flat. This is a pretty big nerf. This will definitely hurt his early game, and I mean, it will also hurt his late game as well. Overall, just gonna tag him down a bit. He's doing really well in low elo at the moment. He also performs alright in high, so yeah, this is why we're nerfing Amumu. Aphelios is losing 0.5 to 3 attack damage on his passive. This is going to allow more windows to max his other abilities. The attack speed and the lethality now have more opportunities to be maxed. Yeah, this is just a nerf towards pro play mainly. Aphelios is a pretty dominant pro pick. He is the second highest prio ADC at the moment, just behind, second highest prio on par with Lucian at the moment. So this is kind of the idea behind this. Does quite well with Stormrazor Gale Force at the moment as well. Assault is being nerfed. This is going to be increased by, the mana cost on E is going to go up level 1, and then it's going to even out to at later levels. 60-100, 80-100, and the magic damage per tick is going to go from 2.5 to 7.5 with a 6.25% AP ratio to 2.5 to 7.5 with a 5% AP ratio. So they basically don't want this champ to exist in high elo. This is just really going to hurt the champ in general. I don't get why they keep early game skewing nerfs towards Assault. Because his most performing kind of thing is low elo, and I don't imagine this is enough. I imagine he's still a strong champion in low elo, and this won't hit him any, like, in general, like where he needs to be hit. I think his star just power should go down a bit, and in turn they should make his early game a bit more forgiving because it's really punishable. And yeah, if they keep going down this path, he's never going to see pro play again for the most part, and he's never really going to see much high elo play, as you will get really heavily punished for playing this champion into things like Fizz, AD matchups, even Yas. Like, yeah, there's so many champs in the mid lane which already beat him, but yeah, there are a couple he does win, but it just feels bad, nothing ASO. But yeah, once again, low elo skewed nerf. Low elo powerful champ, not a particularly low elo skewed nerf though, so I think that misses the mark. Azir is gaining some just straight up buffs. 14 to 6 on Q goes down to 12 to 6, so 2 seconds at the at first rank, which is quite nice because he W max at the moment. So this will last until level 7, where this will go down a bit. But overall, quite a nice buff to Azir. W is gaining 25 summon range, and the magic damage is going from 0 to 92 with a 50 to 118 flat scalar and 55% AP ratio to just an increase of 5% AP ratio on this. Overall, quite nice for Azir. Azir does quite well in the top lane at the moment. I do recommend playing Azir top. I've been recommending this for a while. You can go something like with Frozen Heart, like hybrid Bruiser variant, but you can also just go full AP Azir top. There's a lot of power on this. This might make him an overpowered top champ in pro play. We'll have to see. Overall, not really seeing any not really seeing any pro play at the moment. So yeah, but just some straight buffs. Ivern is gaining some adjustments because he's just not performing particularly well. He's not particularly popular at the moment either. So they are changing his Q, that he can now recast Q to jump to directly to the target, and while Ivern allies can issue an attacker command to move to their auto attacks range distant away from the target. This is a nice quality of life change. Cast range is up by 50, non-epic change. Q's cooldown is now reduced by 50% when used on a non-epic monster. This is really nice because this allows him to hop around the map a lot more. W Brushmaker, redefining Death Brush. Brushmaker's passive magic damage on hit when exiting the brush for 3 seconds now applies to ally champions. Ally on hit damage is 5 to 15 plus 10% of Ivern's AP. Brush spawn vision duration is 3 seconds to 8 seconds. Brush duration 20 seconds up to a maximum of 45 seconds or until your team loses vision inside of it. Lucky auto attack empowered with it, the brush now have special visual effects to reflect the on hit damage. So overall, yeah, this is a huge buff towards Ivern. E trigger seed change if when the shield detonates, there are no enemies that are hit by the detonation, and the shield has not been broken. The duration of the shield is renewed. This is also a really big buff. Daisy has 50 more attack range, has strong health, now gaining 0 to 2.5 health per second. Daisy movement speed is going up by 20. Daisy attack speed is going up by 0.05. Daisy bonus attack speed is going from 30 to 50, 30, 50, 70 to 30, 45, 60. And slam damage is going from 100% of Daisy's AD plus 20% AP ratio to 40 to 80 plus 100% of Daisy's AD plus 20% AP. So Ivern's going to be broken. These are massive buffs. I imagine solo lane Ivern's good, jungle Ivern's good. Yeah, in general, when we first saw these changes, it looked really strong, and people were kind of expecting them to make a follow-up to like make it so they're not as broken. But instead, it looks like they've gone even harder, and there are more things within here which look really strong. So yeah, Ivern, definitely recommend trying him. He looks like he's going to be really strong. I imagine he'll get nerfed next patch. Jinx's attack speed growth is going down from 1.36 to 1. As much as this is the Jinx beam of they don't want to like nerf her too, she's not performing extraordinarily well at the moment. She's just strong. So it's a light tap. Yeah, but this is just a revert to the attack speed growth, which really like made her broken, quotation marks, but it's a small change, but she doesn't need a big change, so it's whatever. Callista is gaining 26 base health. Her health regen is going up by 0.25. Health regen growth is going from 0.55 to 0.75. Attack damage is going from 66 to 61. Attack damage growth is going from 3.75 to 3.25. Passive, Martial Poise, is now no longer a miss if the target leaves vision. Damage out on hit is going from 90 to 100% of total AD. Q Pierce is gaining 5% of my AD ratio. E-Rend is going to go from 14 to 8 seconds to 8 seconds of all ranks, which is a huge buff. And the physical damage per stack is going from 10 to 34. Plus 23 to 40% AD ratio to 8 to 24, plus 25 to 45% AD ratio. This is a huge buff to Callista. This is just really going to help her. Allows her to scale a lot better as well. So overall, yeah, big changes towards Callista. We'll start seeing her in pro play, definitely. This alone is a really, really big buff. You can now probably rend twice as a chase mechanic, and yeah, but that's just a lot of power. Rek'Sai is now going to have her Tremor Central refresh rate from 1.5 to 1 second. The heal with maximum fury is 20 to 190 plus 15 plus 20 for every 3 levels to 2% plus 2% maximum HP every 3 levels. So oh wait, so this is the new formula. Yeah, 15 plus 20 every 3 levels, 2% plus 2% max HP every 3 levels. So this is a big buff. Q, Queen's Wrath, is 4 seconds to 2 seconds based on rank now. This is also pretty big buff. The buff duration is going down by 2 seconds, which technically is a adjustment rather than just a straight nerf. The hit and buff basic attacks now refresh the buff duration of Queen's Wrath, so that's quite nice. And not so fast Q's buff no longer ends prematurely if Rek'Sai is buried for more than 1.5 seconds. Okay, so yeah, just some adjustments there. Reveal duration's going up by 2.5 seconds on her burrowed Q, which is quite nice. And the W and burrow quality of life upgrade updates target range increased to match untargeted range. Note this will mean that the optimization where it was better to line up Rek'Sai up to the edge of your knockup and press W at the perfect time instead of just clicking on the opponent has been removed. Okay, so yeah, quality of life. Quite nice for Rek'Sai. I imagine Rek'Sai is in a pretty strong spot next patch. Rek'Sai is rarely left in a weak spot. She likes to hold around a 52% win rate, so yeah, that's a pretty nice change. Renekton is losing 2 seconds at all ranks on E. R Dominus is going from 120 to 80, and magic damage per tick is going up from 25 to 75 to 30 to 90. Overall, this won't do a lot for Renekton. He, as much as it is just a decent amount of strict buffs, this won't do a huge amount, and the E. You tend to it's the way you got to look at this is it's 2 seconds off on a champ, which builds a lot of haste. So it's not as big as it like looks on paper. And yeah, the same thing is, if you can rotate Dominus twice in a team fight with the 80 seconds because you build enough haste, then yeah, there is value in that. And yeah, the magic damage per tick is quite nice. But yeah, overall, I don't imagine this puts him into a spot where he's going to be picked a lot. But this is, yeah, it's quite nice for Renekton. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind it. W pick a card is going from 86 seconds to 6 seconds at all rank. This is quite nice buff to Twisted Fate. It allows him to access his wave clear more frequently. It allows him to use his stun card more frequently. So overall, yeah, just a really big buff towards Twisted Fate. This can help high haste builds as well if you can like continuously rotate cards over a certain duration. Iron Sensor is going from 15 to 30% based on level to 20% bonus attack speed. This is it's a nerf, but there are benefits to having it, accessing it earlier. So yeah, Arden is a really strong item at the moment. So I'm glad it's being brought down a slight bit. Duskblade is in a pretty bad spot at the moment, but that's mainly because it's being overshadowed by Youmuu's. Night Stalker bonus ability damage going from 0 to 15 to 0 to 20% based on target's listing health. And the maximum bonus damage health threshold is going from 20% remaining health to 30% remaining health, which is quite a nice buff. I imagine this puts it more on par with Youmuu's also being nerfed. So yeah, we will start seeing a lot more champs definitely running this. Samira seems to be a good user of it in the ADC role, and with this coming in as a buff, this will probably be her primary mythic. Echoes of Helia is doing too well at the moment, so the healing is going down from 20 to 100 to 20 to 80, and the passive damage shard is going from 30 to 200 to 30 to 180. This item is still going to be really strong. Gale Force is going to go from 150 to 350 active damage plus 250% critical strike damage it's losing 50% critical strike damage. And the maximum execution damage is losing 10%. So just a slight tap down to Gale Force. It is overperforming at the moment. Kraken's is having its damage type changed to physical. The damage is going from 20 to plus 6% AD ratio, plus 45% AP ratio, to 35 to 85 scaling, levels to 8 to 18, with a 5% increase on the AD ratio and a 50% increase on the AP ratio. Moonstone Renewer is gaining 5% later on the heal and 5% later on the shield. Yeah, I don't imagine this suddenly makes the item viable, but I'm pretty sure there was a bug with the item, so we'll have to see what. Yeah, there was a bug where the AoE shield was not functioning properly, so maybe it becomes strong. We don't know at the moment, but it is performing very badly on the current patch. Navori is gaining 5 AD, losing 5 ability haste, gaining 3% on the Transcendence cooldown reduction, and its mythic passive is being changed to 5 AD. Overall, this is a buff to the item, definitely. The champs building it are definitely going to value the attack damage. Some of them do value the ability haste, but as it will still have some on it, and the Transcendence cooldown reduction will also help them a bit. Yeah, this is definitely a buff. GP will definitely still like this item, and there are other champs which will still definitely run this item. Will start running this item instead of like IE and Youmuu's. Runans is losing 15 on hit damage. This item was massively overperforming. Static Shiv is having its energized damage increased from 60 to 170 to 80 to 190, and its minion modifier is going from 220% to 250%. Storm Razor is losing 5 AD, and the damage on the charge is losing 10 on the flat, 5% total AD ratio, and that is what it is losing. So yeah, tapped on the Storm Razor. Yomu's is losing 5 ability haste, it's losing 5 to 8 lethality, and the distance per stack is going up by 10, so slower stack generation. Yeah, it's quite a big nerf towards Yomu's, but it was performing really well, so should put it in more in line with the other lethality mythics. Buff sharing is being added. Buff Wisp. When a jungle kills a red or blue buff, while the slice is fully upgraded, will still receive the counter buff. But in addition, a Buff Wisp will be dropped at the camp spawn location, and an ally can pick it up by walking within the radius, kind of like Ivern's buff. And you do not need to swipe the camp at any time in order for the Buff Wisp to drop, but swipe must be fully upgraded. So yeah, this is the key line here. Swipe must be fully upgraded to do buff sharing. If a player that is not the jungler kills the red or blue sentinel, but the jungler swipe is fully upgraded, then the buff will still drop, but it will only be visible to the allied jungler. Okay, so kind of also similar to Ivern's thing. So that's, yeah, quite nice. ARAM adjustments, bunch of buffs, bunch of nerfs, one adjustment towards Ashe, and Clash is on this weekend. I'll probably do a tier list for this. A couple of bug fixes, a couple of skin bug fixes, return to... I know there was a freeze problem at the moment where like Scion's passive could cause people to freeze. I don't know, it doesn't look like it's being fixed, but yeah, Vigilant Wardstone I believe is being fixed here, yeah, which should have it re-enabled in the game, so that's quite nice. We're getting the new Prestige DRX Aatrox and the new Prestige and the new DRX skins, so that's also pretty nice, getting a Chroma along with all of these. So yeah, overall, a bunch of big changes in this patch. We'll have to see how these adjust pro play. Pro play is very stale at the moment. It is very similar to the meta before. Before mid-season, which was similar to the meta before this season, so it's pretty bad. But hopefully some of these may be like may see play in pro play. Things like Kali, Azir, Twisted Fate, Callista, Ivern could all see pro play. I don't think Renekton will see, but some people would like to just randomly lock this champion in. And hopefully if Edison Jinx are picked a bit less, but we still have things like Lucian, Xayah, and I don't imagine these champs will suddenly go away with slight tap downs. Yeah, overall, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next one. Goodbye.